Would you break up with someone while on vacation? Hey, you guys, welcome back to Smiley Said It. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about my experience on breaking up with someone while I was actually on vacation with them. This is going to be a crazy storytelling video. I know that this is going to have like different responses because a lot of people gave their own answers if they would do the same. So I ran a poll and I asked my followers on Instagram, would they break up with someone while they're on vacation? Majority of people said it depends. Okay, so I'm going to read you the poll results. 35% of you guys said yes. 0% said no. 46% said that it depends on the situation, of course. 19% said wait until we get home to break up with the person anyways. It does depend, and I understand why majority of people voted for it depends, because traveling with your significant other was a new thing for me. The sun is sunning, y'all. All right. Yes, it's springtime out here, baby. I've been traveling for a while. For those that know, I am a nomad. So this is a new channel for a lot of people that are coming in, and a lot of you guys are here because of my thoughts and my commentary and stuff like that, but I was known on YouTube as a travel nomad before I made this second channel. So if you haven't subscribed to my last channel, which is Smiley Adventures, I'm not active on there. Everything will be posted here, okay? And the reason that is because I don't get monetized on that channel anymore. I don't want to get into it, but it's to get that channel back in order. It's just going to cause me a big major headache. So this is now my main channel. I think that channel is like 14 years old now. So I've been doing this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Okay. What was it 2014? I was 22 years old. I started traveling then. I was on a dating website. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, I can't remember. It was so long ago, child. That was the last time I was ever active on a dating website. I was never really into dating websites, you know? It was just kind of like something I did if I was bored and I was curious to see like what the hell was out there. And let's get into the story. He was Mexican American. I've never dated a Latino. Actually, I did when I was in high school, but it was temporary. He was half Cape Verdean and half Puerto Rican, so. But nevertheless, he was Mexican American. He was a teacher. He lived in Chicago, so it was long distance. I didn't mind long distance relationships or dating. Majority of my relationships of dating were long distance. The longest relationship that I was in was local, 4 years. He looked, nice, and we exchanged information, and he said, yeah, I can come and travel to Massachusetts. And we were just talking online. I think it was like no more than like a month and a half where we were like, okay, let's meet up. You can come here. He wanted to drive to where I live. He wanted to drive from Chicago to Massachusetts. Don't know why. That was his prerogative. I should have had him stay in a hotel. That was my mistake. I should have never invited him into my apartment. Someone you don't know, right?
Bitch, you better be joking.
That was my lack of discernment. But remember, I was 22 years old. My frontal lobe was not fully developed. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Because I would not do that shit today.
Well,
At 34, I know that much. At 22, the naivete, where you're conversing with someone online and you get a good feeling that they're a good person because they're a teacher. If you're a teacher, why the fuck would you be dangerous? Boy, oh boy, lately in the news, there's been teachers, including female teachers, doing essay, all types of stuff to young children. More than ever, okay? But it's always been a thing. What the fuck is going on here? I didn't know much about Mexican traditions or Mexican families as far as like how the woman cooks and cleans and takes care of the children and the man works all day and brings home the bacon. That is a lot of Mexican culture and Mexican American culture, right? Not all, I'm not saying all, but that is pretty much how a lot of things go in a lot of Mexican households. The woman is the homemaker for the most part and raising the children and cooking for her husband, doing all that stuff. Mind you, that wasn't me back then, and it's not me now. Domestication is not my journey as a woman, he started actually indicating this is what I want in a woman. He was going through my cabinets and saying, oh, well, this is how my mom does this. This is how the woman in my culture does this. And I'm sitting here like, as a Black American woman, I'm like, we don't do that. But I wasn't raised as a homemaker. I wasn't raised to be a wife or a mother to children and stay at home and cook and clean all day and do all the shit. Like, that's not a part of my lineage on my side of the family. We don't store pans this way. We put pans this way. We do this. We store our plates this way. And I'm like, yeah, that's cute for y'all. But I don't do that. So we have to meet in the middle, right? We have to meet somewhere in the middle where it's like, I'm a Black American, you're Mexican American. There's a cultural clash that is happening right here because you coming into my apartment and I barely really know you, right? But we're getting to know each other and I like you, but you're expressing ways of your culture that doesn't meet me in the middle where as a woman, I'm comfortable doing that. One day, I noticed he had a very hairy back. He had a hairy back, okay? It was hairy. And I said, if you want me to compromise my kitchen for the comfort of you, can you wax your back? Because at the time, I was on it. Like my appointments, I'm not trying to be too forward. Every month, I would go to European Wax Center and get my full bikini wax. And I said, hey, do you want to come with me and wax your back or your chest? Do you want any waxing done? I didn't make him do it. I didn't say, if you don't wax your back, you got to go back to Chicago. He got his back waxed, the whole back, like on some 40-year-old virgin shit. Not the front, but the back. It looked good. I mean, he wanted it done. He was like, yeah, if that makes you happy. I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, so you for real. Are you for real? And we had planned a trip to Puerto Rico.
Loves me some Puerto Rican. I spelled Puerto Rican in this. Rican. Whoa. Beady, 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 bum, bum.
Selena wasn't Puerto Rican, bro.
Selena wasn't Puerto Rican?
No.
She was Mexican.
Yeah, brother.
But the girl that played her Puerto Rican.
That's not the point, though.
J-Lo, she
That's
Puerto
not
Rican.
the point, though. She's playing the real person. The real person. The real person. The real artist that she's playing is not Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rico was a easy trip to plan because it's still in the United States, so we didn't need a passport. But also, he was fluent in Spanish, so we didn't really have to translate if we got to certain parts of Puerto Rico that mostly spoke Spanish. We had planned the trip before he got there. He already had his bags packed for Puerto Rico in his car. We went to the airport. You know, he was at my apartment for like 2 days. So at the time, I've already traveled to 5 countries. At 22, the first time I ever traveled, I went to Europe and I hit 5 countries. I told him about that. I was like, yeah, I've traveled already and I've been to Europe. And I even told him, he's asked me, have you ever dated Latino men? Have you ever dated white men outside of Black men? I was like, yeah, I've dated, white men, but I've never been in a relationship with a white man or a Latino man at the time. So I didn't think anything of it. He had lost a lot of weight, but he still had excess skin. Even then, like just how he dressed, I could tell that he was a little bit insecure, but I didn't care about his body like that. I wasn't like, oh my God, because I'm like, you did the work, you lost weight, now you just have a little bit excess skin and a little bit of stretch marks, fine. But we give so much grace to men and their bodies, don't we? Compared to women, we give men way more grace for their body image than we do women. Continuing on. So we fly to San Juan from Boston. We land. He knew I was a content creator. This is when I had my YouTube channel. It started around this time when I was 22. So I already have 5 videos up on my channel because I've been to 5 countries. What cities did I go to? It was London, Paris, Munich, Amsterdam, Lucerne, and Switzerland. I got my feet wet as an international traveler. So when we landed in Puerto Rico, we went to Old San Juan, where the Bacardi factory is. So we get there, we're walking around Old San Juan near the Bacardi factory. And I'm taking pictures, enjoying the view. And he felt some type of way about that. And he was like, hey, are you going to be taking pictures while we're on this vacation together the whole time? No, I'm just taking a few pictures. for my Instagram, for my YouTube channel, because I'm a content creator. Why wouldn't I? I'm a travel content creator, and we're in Puerto Rico. I want to take some pictures. I literally just took my phone out of my pocket and took a picture. No big deal. But to him it was, because he was like, oh, so you gonna be taking pictures? And I told him, I was like, okay, I'll put my phone away. I want to enjoy your company. I want us to have a good time. This is the first day, y'all. This is the first day. He's already complaining about me taking pictures on vacation. It wasn't my professional camera where I had to change the lens and shit. This is my phone. I just took my phone out and went like this. And he already had a problem with that. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm a content creator, right? So I'm going to take pictures of where I'm at. We're walking towards the Bacardi factory. It's in the daytime. And he's like bothered that I'm not holding his hand as we're walking. He's like, can you hold my hand? And I'm like, sure, I guess. It didn't hit me to be like, grab your hand. I'm not someone that wants to hold someone's hand the entire time I'm walking with them, because my hands get sweaty when it interacts with heat. And it gets uncomfortable. But he wanted to make it seem like I was his. He wanted everybody to know that I was his girlfriend. We're not just two friends walking beside each other. He wanted to be known that we were a couple. So we get to the Bacardi factory. The drinks were great, obviously. It was a good time. The next day, we went to the beach. By the way, I've been to 39 countries, y'all. I've been to 39 countries. I love Puerto Rico when it comes to their beaches. Puerto Rico has some of the best fucking beaches you will ever fucking experience. I promise you. The water is so warm. It's so nice. It's not cold. It's not freezing cold. I'm from Boston. The Atlantic Ocean is fucking freezing, okay? When I was in Puerto Rico, I felt like I could just dive in the fucking water without, how you have to take your little time getting into the water and shit in the Atlantic Ocean. If anything, that was a highlight of my trip, was we were in the water and we were having a great time, We had dinner later on that night and it went well. So this is where things get messed up. The next day, we had plans to go to El Yunque, the rainforest in Puerto Rico. El Yunque, you gotta go. Trees on top of trees. It's gorgeous. We rented a car, by the way. So we rented a vehicle to go to travel around Puerto Rico and stuff like that. He drove most of the time. We drive to El Yunque, we park in the little parking lot, the parking area, and we take a hike up. As we're taking a hike up, it's cool, it's great, beautiful views. We get to the middle point. It's like this landmark where you can go up the stairs and take a 360 view, the entire rainforest. So we're taking a break and we're resting before we have to go further up and go up these stairs to get the 360 view. This European white guy, his shirt off, hot by the way. He was, I'm sorry. I can say that now. He was a hot guy. This hot European guy stops us and he's like, hey, are you guys going up or are you going down? Because he was like, yeah, I'm going up, but I want to know what the views is like. And we're like, oh no, we're going up as well. He asks us, he's like, oh, where are you from? What's your names? And being friendly, a friendly European. The guy that I was dating at the time knew that I have dated white men in the past. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because that was his insecurity. That made him feel some type of way. The fact that I dated white men in the past, here's this beautiful man with his shirt off, six-pack and abs and all, okay? And we were like, oh no, we're going up. And I was like, I'm from Boston. And I was looking over at homeboy like, are you going to introduce yourself? I don't want to talk for you, but he didn't say anything. And I'm like, oh, he's from Chicago and we're visiting here together. He was like, oh, cool. Well, I'll see you guys up there. And we were like, okay, bye. A few minutes later, we're trekking back up and we bump into him at the landmark on top. And he's taking pictures of these Asian girls that asked him to take a picture for them. And then he approaches us again. He was like, isn't this beautiful? And he was like, can I take a picture for y'all? I don't have that picture, y'all. I deleted that shit the moment I got back home. And I'm going to tell you why. We're like, yeah, you can take our picture together. He hands my phone back and he just walks off and he's like, looking around and enjoying the view. And I'm taking a picture. So the guy comes up, he's talking to me. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I've been to Europe and I've been to these countries because I heard an accent. Just casual conversation. I was like, hey, where are you from? What part of Europe? He had an accent that I've never heard before. We're conversing. And I'm thinking Armando is behind me or near me. And like a minute later, it had to be less than a minute later. I turn back, I don't see him. And so he can't be anywhere besides downstairs, right? So I go downstairs. So I'm like, did you see where he went? He was like, no, I don't know. The conversation that I had with that guy was so innocent. It wasn't even anything crazy. I just told him I've been to Europe, and he was inquisitive about it. And I was like, yeah, I've been to Amsterdam, and I tried cannabis for the first time. And I'm thinking Armando is right there, like nearby. And then I look and I'm like, oh, he's not. He left me. You heard me. He left me. And so I'm panicking because I don't know how to get out of here. He has the car, he has the keys. And so we're in the rainforest. We are in a rainforest, you guys. I'm sitting here like, all right, I'm rushing. I was like, okay, nice meeting you. Bye. I gotta go find where the fuck he is. All right. He was like, yeah, bye. Good luck. And I'm like, okay. It's a spiral staircase. So I'm like panting as I'm like running down. He kept walking. He was walking down the trail, like further down. I literally had to jog to catch up. He was pissed. I was like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Why are you leaving me? Like, what the fuck? He's like, I seen how he was looking at you. I seen how you were looking at him. I seen how y'all were talking with each other. Da 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 da. In my head, I'm like, wait.
Why?
You're leaving me because you seen that him and I were talking, but you couldn't join in to the conversation. Like, so you just leave me without saying anything? You just gonna leave me in the rainforest? At this time, I was very like physically in shape. So I'm literally just like jogging downstairs because I know he was walking fast. I was power walking. I didn't want to break my ankle, the rocks and shit down, down the slant hill and all that, down the trail. He was really going to leave me, or at least leave me long enough until I got to the bottom. Okay. And I knew he was insecure at this point about his body because he had lost weight. And he was like, I seen how you were looking at him. Da da da. The guy was six pack, jacked, blue eyes, handsome. Okay. But I wasn't flirting with the guy. I wasn't even giving him inappropriate attention. It was very innocent conversations. The same conversations that I would still have today if I had a partner. I would still have that same type of conversation. We were talking about traveling and talking about our backgrounds. And I felt like the European at the time, I feel like he wanted to engage with Armando, but Armando was just being kind of like cold stone and just didn't want to interact with him. So I was doing most of the talking because he wasn't talking at all. So I'm the type of person that likes to like filibuster sometimes if I feel like we're in a group and no one wants to interact with someone that clearly wants to talk to the group. I like to break the ice and break the awkwardness by saying, hey, yeah, da da da, just to make it not awkward. I don't like when I get it. Some people don't like small talk, but when it's an awkward situation, just give in a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't got to be an asshole. Like, for what? Okay? Just be nice. Just smile. And if you want to be short, you can be short. But you don't have to be an asshole and treat the person that's trying to have a conversation with you like they're disturbing you in a way that is obnoxious. It wasn't that at all. I said, oh, we're not doing this. I will leave you. I will end this right now. Because what you're not going to do is leave me in the rainforest in Puerto Rico because some guy was talking to me. Not what I did, but the fact that he was flirting with me. You're going to leave me because the man is interested in me? And I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just chilling, conversing, like, yeah, beautiful views. Yep. And I turn around and you're gone. You're going to blame me for that? You got the wrong one. You don't control shit. You don't control me at all. Remember, we are newly dating. Your first sign of jealousy was not at that point. It was the fact that you didn't want me taking pictures from my my work, my job. I was trying to build content to make a living out of it. And at that point, I was getting advertisement deals on my YouTube channel. So I'm like, oh, you're the jealous type. You're not only jealous, but you're insecure. I don't deal with men very well that are insecure. I don't deal with jealousy well. I don't deal with insecurities. I'm not saying that you can't have them, but it's how you express them. And the way that he left me in El Yunque rainforest because he was jealous, yeah, you're a dangerous person to be around. You're not someone I can feel safe around. Let's go over here, or let's leave now, or even that, you know what I mean? I would have been like, okay, you're uncomfortable. Communicate that, say that. But to leave me in the dust, child, was like, we're not gonna work out. I don't take that shit lightly. I said, yeah, we're done. Literally, he's huffing and puffing, walking downhill like this. I seen how he was looking at you. I can't believe you entertained him. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? Like, what? When someone shows you like a small piece of their insecurities, you have to take that very seriously, especially early on. We're not in a committed relationship just yet because I'm still getting to know you, but that was my fault for going on vacation with someone that I barely knew. I would never fucking do that shit again. But, 22, yeah, I'm naive, I'm stupid. You know what I mean? Whatever. I wasn't dumb enough or naive enough to tolerate the shit that he was pulling. I put that shit in check right then and there. I was like, oh, we're done. That's when he was like, oh no, I didn't mean that. Oh no, I'm just saying I have jealousy tendencies sometimes. I'm like, no, I don't tolerate jealous men because jealous men are dangerous men. You could snap just like that and take my life. Even on vacation, it happens more than people know. There are women that never return home because their partner, even husbands, even the father of their children, have off them while on vacation. And I knew better. That's the thing. I knew better at 22. I was like, this is not a good sign. So we got in the car. He was crying. Yeah, he cried. He teared up. He was like, I don't want to lose you. I really like you and I'm sorry. I need to work on myself. I was like, you can work on yourself, but not while you're with me. I only have 3 photos on my Instagram page from the time I spent in Puerto Rico because he did not want me taking pictures of my time and my enjoyment. And y'all know, if you follow me on Instagram, I take a lot of photos. I was in my photography bag at the time, very new to it, but I loved it. I fell in love with my hobby. I only have 3 pictures to show for because he ruined my fucking vacation. He was that fucking jealous. Remember, we were already either sitting at a dinner table and I just want to take a picture of the food. And he's like, can you put your phone away? And I'm like, I don't know how that can ruin the dating experience by me just taking my phone out and putting my phone back away. Some people may find that to be tacky. The compatibility wasn't there regardless. Even if I didn't have my phone out, he would have probably found something else to complain about because, again, he wanted to hold my hand the whole time as a form of possession, public possession. That's a video I can talk about. The appearance of me being single bothered him. If even if we're walking side by side, that was a red flag for me. We had dinner that night and he was still begging to, remain in this dating situation. And I said, no, when we get back, you're going back to Chicago. You feel this comfortable so early on in dating that you could tell me what to do or try to change anything with me. We changed rooms. So we get back to my apartment. He's all sad and all just disappointed and upset and angry, slamming shit. And I said, don't be slamming my cabinets because I'll call the police and get your ass up out of here. I'm letting you sleep the night over. I locked my bedroom door and I said, you could stay on the couch until tomorrow morning where you got to drive back to Chicago. And I try to keep it very peaceful because, again, I'm like, he can bust through this door and finish me. I should have made him leave the very day that we got back and landed in Massachusetts. But I was like, it's a long day. It's a long flight. We had a layover. you can leave in the morning. That way you can have some rest. You don't have to get a hotel and spend money on that after you just spent money on vacation as well. So the next day, I give him a hug and I'm like, good luck. And sorry that things ended up this way, but we're not compatible. And he ended up driving all the way back to Chicago. For some reason, he thought we were still going to continue things. And I said, oh, so you're really delusional here. No, sir. We're not continuing a goddamn thing. And I said, I don't care to talk to you anymore. I wish you the best. That was it. And he kept calling me. He kept calling me. He left multiple voicemails. One voicemail I remember very vividly. Oh, I hope you get to sleep with all those white European men that you've seen, since that's what you want. You want a white man so badly. I hope you sleep with all those white men, you whore, and all types of stuff. Like, he called me every name in the book. I'm surprised he didn't call me a Jezebel. He literally was furious that I didn't give him the opportunity to make up again. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad that you're showing this. Here's the thing. I'm glad when people show you who the fuck they are, believe them the first time. Because if you don't believe them the first time, you're going to regret not believing it the first time. I'm glad that he left that voicemail because it solidified my gut feeling that he was not a safe person to be around. His insecurities could have had me killed. I would break up with someone again while on vacation. I probably wouldn't have them pick their shit up in my crib without police being present and send their asses back to where they came from that same day that we went back, but never go on a trip or vacation with someone you barely know or just started dating, because you just don't know. And as a woman, the discernment is making sure you have emergency funds that way you can fly back at any time. Emergency, it's an emergency. So if a man is showing you he's jealous, insecure, violent, any of that, cheap, any of that, don't want to pay for this or that, make sure you have your own. Always have your own. I know all of our grandmothers told us this. Always have your own, right? Always have your own. I don't give a hoot if it's the first date. Have your own money. Your own debit card, your own credit card, whatever. In case that person wants to act funny, not pay for your dinner, at least you can pay for your own and not deal with the mess after, But always have your own for taxi or Uber. Well, we have Uber fare now. But always back then when we didn't have Uber, always have taxi fare. I've learned a very hard lesson in that moment because it could have really ended badly for me. It could have, Never compromise your safety. Never compromise your ability to defend yourself, because a lot of people will try you and test you about that. He believed that I was going to give in because he was tearing up and begging, like, oh no, let's give me another chance. Give me another chance. I'm not giving you another chance, motherfucker. I don't give men chances when it comes to after the fact of showing me that they are who they are. Like, you're a jealous person. I don't deal with jealousy at all. I'm sorry. It's not for me. I don't think that shit is cute. It's not endearing. It's not a compliment to be jealous of your partner or your friend or a family. It's not. That's your own problem to solve. And to put that on me to solve and make it my problem and make it my fault is fucked up. I'm not going to do that. I will break up with someone in a heartbeat while on vacation or when we get home either. People that say they will break up with their partner on vacation, depending on the situation, I hope it's based upon your safety. I hope it's based upon them cheating and you finding out on their phones or whatever. I hope it's because they're being abusive or manipulative or controlling, and you want to make sure that you get out safely. If you feel like you're safe enough to go to the police station, give your account that you're not safe and you would like to have some assistance in finding a way back home safely, you can do that too. Any moment in your life, you can leave that person. I don't care where you're at. I don't care how much y'all spent on that vacation. Your life is more important than being uncomfortable and unsafe with someone that you came to that vacation or that destination with. I don't give a fuck if y'all spent $5,000 on a trip before y'all went If he ends up cheating the night before y'all go on that vacation, you don't go on that vacation with him. Well, we spent all this money. Go by yourself, girl. Or waste all that money. You only got two options here. But the other option is not for you to bring his ass there just because you don't want to fucking waste money. Even though he's cheating on you and you just found out, or lied about some important shit or whatever. But yeah, I blocked him. That was the last time that I was ever on a dating website. A few men have gone hiking with their wives or gone water white rafting, any of that, where they pushed the wife off into the water and all types of accidents, okay? But they weren't accidents. They were actual homicide. The man will literally shove his wife off the cliff. Hey, look at this beautiful view. Look at the sunset. Oh, psh. It's a thing where men will literally neglect their female partners in the wild. So, if I can break up with a man while on vacation, what the fuck you think I'm going to do while I'm on my own homeland? I will end things the moment I see some fuck shit. I'm not playing around. Because I don't play about me. I don't play about my livelihood. I don't play about my safety. You can't trust anybody 100%. Human beings are flawed. And a lot of people are not going to show you who they are until they show you who they are. Here's another thing. There are some people that are like, if you go on vacation with someone, you get to see how they are because they can't hide anything, right? If you don't live with your partner, and you guys go on vacation, people are like, yeah, that's how you know they're going to be on their phone, or you can see how they are on a 2 to 5 day straight basis, like how they interact on their phone and what they're doing. Because if they're in a relationship or they're cheating, they're not going to be on vacation with you because they have to attend to the other person. Well, here's the thing. There's something called sleeping, and they bring their phone into the bathroom or they step outside, and if they're a smoker and they smoke cigarettes, they're like, I'm going to step out and take a cigarette break, and they can be texting the other person that they're cheating on you with. Okay. There are ways to cheat on you while you're on vacation with that same person. If someone's going to be sneaky, they're going to be sneaky. You're not going to think anything of it. You're going to be like, oh, they're just going off to the gift shop. No, they're going off to the gift shop to call that person and be like, hey, I'm having a good time. We're doing this, we're doing that, da 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 da. Or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'll call you later on tonight when everyone gets settled, when I get settled after dinner, da da da. People will find a way to be a cheater and a liar. Don't use going on vacation with someone as a test to see if they're actually committed to you before you guys move in, because people are going to find a way to cheat. And it's just that simple. Because if I'm sneaky on vacation, I can be sneakier when we're back home. If you peep something on vacation that you don't like about that person, you're like, I'm not even going to break up with you right now over it. But when we get back, we're going to talk and we're going to go our separate ways, because it's not going to be a good thing to argue while we're preparing to go back home on a long flight back home, right? But 0% said they wouldn't do what I did. It was very awkward. I'm saying it. It was awkward for me. But I knew that I had to do that because I've never had someone try to control me the way that he thought he could do that. Like, I was sitting here like appalled, like, who the fuck are you? If I'm an attractive woman, I'm going to have men looking at me. I'm going to have men talking to me. I'm an outgoing person, and that's not going to change. If someone wants to converse with me or ask me questions and they're polite and nice and kind, I'm going to be nice and kind back. And I'm not going to be a bitch or standoffish just because I have a partner beside me. No, that's not how it works with me. Your job is to pacify your own fucking feelings. You thought I was hard back then? That standard done fucking went up here. If you're attracted to a beautiful woman, I understand that other men are going to be attracted to her too. And it's not going to end with you. Okay? A woman's attraction does not end with you. As long as she's respectful of you in the relationship, I don't understand what the problem is. If something is clearly platonic and friendly, what is the problem? All right. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, love, and happiness.